Hello everyone, welcome to our science class. In today's video, we are going to discuss about factors affecting the rate of chemical reaction. In previous lecture, lecture 5, we discussed about exothermic reaction and endothermic reaction. And now in today's lecture, we will discuss factors affecting the rate of chemical reaction. So let's begin with the class. There are 5 factors discussed here, that is nature of reactants, size of reactants, concentration of reactants, temperature of reaction, and catalyst. What is the meaning of this? Factors affecting the rate of chemical reaction. That means these are the reasons why the reaction can change its product or how the changes can happen in the reaction. These points are important there. Okay, if there is some changes in these things, the product may be different. So here first point says the nature of the reactant. Whatever the nature of reactant you are using for the reaction to take place, it might give you different product for different nature of the reactant. like like whatever element you use, the nature of that element is important here. Also, the size of the reactant. Sometimes we use reactant as a powder, sometimes we use it as a crystal, sometimes we use it in the form of solution. So it will give different product. Or there may be some changes in it. Not different as much, but there may be some changes in it. Concentration of reactant. Sometimes we take concentrated acid, sometimes we take dilute solution. That also depends. Also, the temperature of the reaction also matters a lot here. And the last point is catalyst. Catalyst means while bringing up the reaction, we will be adding some substance so that the reaction becomes a little faster. There will be some changes in the rate of chemical reaction when we add this substance. But that doesn't mean it will cause some changes in the product. The product will be same, but it will help the reaction to take it faster. Okay, so the substance of in whose presence the rate of chemical reaction changes without causing any chemical change to it is called catalyst. Okay, it's like when you are cooking something, of course, whatever the final dish you are preparing, it will be same. But to add it more flavor, sometimes we add something in it, okay, to get more flavor in it. So it will give you a good result, or it will make the dish more tasty. Okay, so the catalyst also acts in a same way here. Let's discuss one by one. First, nature of reactant. To just understand the nature of reactant, they have given here 2 examples. Okay, we are going to discuss about 2 examples here. That is, aluminium is going to react with hydrochloric acid, and we will see what product it is going to give you. And then secondly, we are going to react zinc with hydrochloric acid and see what it is going to give you product. So when aluminium reacts with dilute HCl, it is aluminum reacts with dilute HCl at room temperature. The metal dissolves in hydrochloric acid and gives you aluminium chloride. So it is going to give you aluminium chloride. Okay, it is going to give you aluminium chloride. We are not talking about this product now. And it also gives hydrogen gas. It also gives hydrogen gas. Let's see the second reaction here. When zinc is reacted with hydrochloric acid, it will produce zinc chloride, okay, and it will also give you hydrogen gas. So both the reaction, they are giving you some product. Okay, we are not talking about that product. We are now talking here about the hydrogen gas. Both the reaction gives you hydrogen gas here. Okay, the point is the aluminium will whenever the aluminium is going to react with hydrochloric acid, this reaction will be faster compared to zinc. Both these reaction, we are reacting the aluminum with dilute HCl, zinc also dilute with dilute HCl, right? Zinc also is reacted with dilute HCl. So depending on the element, we can say which reaction is faster. So when we took these 2 examples, the aluminum with dilute HCl is faster as compared to zinc with dilute HCl. Okay, that is the difference here. So with these two examples, we can say that the nature of the metal means here aluminum is taken, here zinc is taken, different metals are taken, elements are taken. So the nature of the metal is responsible for this difference. If you are taking aluminum, you are going to get aluminum chloride. If you are taking zinc, then you are going to get zinc chloride. But rest all other things are same. Here also you are getting hydrogen gas extra. Here also you are getting product as hydrogen gas. Only thing this is changing depending what metal element you are using or which element you are reacting with dilute HCl. Since it is aluminum, you are going to get aluminum chloride. Since it is zinc, you are going to get zinc chloride. Okay, so this is the first point. Reaction of aluminum metal takes place faster as compared to zinc metal, and the nature of the metal is responsible for this difference. But why aluminum is taking like the reaction is faster compared to zinc? The reason behind this is in our previous lecture I had given you the list of the elements, how as you go down the reactivity of the element decreases. Okay, so if you consider this aluminum and zinc, you will see that aluminum is more reactive than zinc. Aluminum is more reactive than zinc. That is the reason that aluminum metal takes place faster as compared to zinc metal. Okay, so this point is clear. Let's begin with the second point. Second factor here is size of the particles of reactants. Size of the particles of reactants. Size also matters in reaction. Whenever you bring up the reaction, size also matters here. So here also we are going to discuss one activity to see how the size of the particle can change or can bring some changes in the reaction. Let me discuss here one activity. Okay, it's just simple one activity is there. So we have a test tube. This is one test tube and there is another test tube I'm going to take so that I can see the reaction, different reactions. Okay, here I'm going to take in this Shabad tile pieces. Okay, so I'm going to take some pieces, tile pieces in this. And then I'm going to add to this 10 ml of HCl, dilute HCl. Okay. Similarly, in the next test tube, I'm going to, instead of using the tile pieces, I'm going to use here tile powder. Okay, so in first test tube, I'm using pieces and the second test tube, I'm using powder. And also I'm going to add 10 ml of dilute HCl. What will happen in such reaction? What is the observation here? Okay, let me tell you what is the observation here. First, when you are doing this reaction, you have to observe whether effervescence of carbon dioxide is formed faster or slower. Okay, there will be some effervescence of carbon dioxide formed in this reaction. Okay, so that's the observation here, and depending on that, we can say which reaction is faster. So in this reaction, in this activity, what happens is when you take tiles, the reaction is slower. That is tile pieces. If you take powder, it is faster. Okay, if you take pieces, it will be slower. If you take powder, then it is faster. So based on this observation, it tells us that you should not use tile pieces. If you want the reaction to take fast, then you should use the powder, the tile powder. Okay, so here this point, this example clearly explains you the size of the particle of the reactant. also can change the reaction. It can bring whether changes in the reaction, whether it is slower or faster, those type of changes it can bring. Okay, so observation here was, what you have to observe? You have to observe whether effervescence of carbon dioxide is formed at a faster or slower speed. So we have to observe this. And based on this, we observed that if you use Shaba tile pieces, then the reaction is slower. If you use the tile powder, then it is reaction is faster. So with this, we can say the point here is smaller the size of the reactant particles, higher is the rate of reaction. So if you want a higher rate of reaction, then you have to use powder. So smaller the size of the reactant particles, it will give you higher is the rate of reaction. Okay, so these 2 points are clear. In first point, we said it depends on the metal, whatever metal you use, the nature of the element, whatever you use in the reaction, and it also depends on the size of the particle. Okay, let's discuss the third point here. The third point here is it depends on the concentration of reactants. Concentration of reactants. Okay, so to discuss about this, again, we are going to take example of reactions. Let me write it. CaCO3 is going to react with HCl. Again, this is a dilute HCl. Okay, and in the next, CaCO3, calcium carbonate, is going to react with concentrated HCl. So when it reacts with dilute HCl, what will happen? When it is reacting with concentrated HCl, what will happen? So we are going to see that. Okay. Here, whenever calcium carbonate or any other compound, when it reacts with dilute HCl, here we have taken an example. This is just example. Okay. Here, calcium carbonate, when it is reacted with HCl, dilute HCl, then it reacts slowly. It reacts slowly and disappears slowly. Also, it liberates carbon dioxide slowly. Okay. In other case, when your calcium carbonate is reacting with concentrated HCl, here the reaction will be rapid, faster. Okay. First case, the reaction was slow. In this case, it is faster. Reacts rapidly. Also, it disappears faster. It's obvious because concentrated HCl acid is very strong. Okay, so it is kept separately if you are doing any experiment or any activities you are carrying out in the laboratory, they will be kept safely at one place, and you have to use a dropper to make use of it because it is very concentrated. It's dangerous. Okay, so it is going to obviously react rapidly, whereas dilute HCl is not that dangerous, but still you have to handle it with care. Okay, so with these two reactions, we have understood that rate of reaction also depends. When you are using dilute HCl, it is different, and when you are using concentrated, it is different. So with this point, we can say that rate of reaction is directly proportional. This symbol means directly proportional. Directly proportional. Okay, we have used this symbol for physics also. The symbol says rate of reaction is directly proportional to concentration of reactant. That means the rate of reaction depends on the concentration of reactant. If it is dilute, then the reaction may be slower. If it is concentrated, your reaction will be, the chemical reaction will be rapid. Okay, so that's why we say the point here is rate of reaction is directly proportional to concentration of reactant. This was the third point. Let's discuss fourth point. What was the fourth point we were talking about? Temperature. Okay, the reaction also, the next factor is temperature. Based on temperature also there may be changes in the reactions. Temperature of the reaction. Okay, in our previous lecture, we had discussed some reactions. If you remember, we were talking about decomposition of limestone. Okay, decomposition of limestone where lime water turns milky. Okay, that reaction. Okay, so here example is decomposition of limestone. If you talk about decomposition of limestone, lime water does not turn milky before heating limestone. When you heat only, it will turn the lime water milky. Before heating, it does not turn it milky. Okay. So when you are heating it, only then there will be carbon dioxide gas will be generated, and because of that, the lime water turns milky. We can write that point here. Lime water does not turn milky before heating limestone. Before heating limestone doesn't happen. Okay, so after heating only it will turn it into milky. So this point says that when you are giving heat, that means here the temperature is increased, right? So temperature also gives you a reaction. It will make a difference. So this point says that rate of reaction increases on increasing the temperature. Okay, so we should remember this point here. Next is catalyst. I told you already, catalyst. Catalyst is some substance you will be adding in the reaction, and it will help the reaction to take it faster. Okay, it helps. So here, let me take one example. Potassium chlorate, KClO3. Here, this triangle symbol, this delta symbol means you are going to give heat to it. Okay. Then KCl, potassium chloride plus oxygen. If you want to balance this, this will be 3 oxygen, twice of KCl and twice of potassium chloride. Now this reaction decomposes slowly. In this reaction, the decomposition takes place slowly. The rate of reaction neither increases by reducing the particle size nor by increasing the reaction temperature. However, this potassium chlorate decomposes rapidly in presence of manganese oxide, that is MnO2, to liberate oxygen gas. There is no chemical change takes place in this reaction. Only it will decompose rapidly. Now in this reaction, the decomposition decomposes very slowly. But when you use MnO2, so here MnO2 acts like a catalyst. When you add MnO2 here in this, there will be decomposition which is rapid. Okay, so that's the beauty here of catalyst. So because of the catalyst, this change can happen. You can say the rate of reaction neither increases by reducing the particle size in this case, okay, by reducing the particle size, this reaction we want to do, okay, we want to carry out this reaction in the lab, but this decomposes this oxygen gas. Because of this reaction, it decomposes very slowly, and we don't want this. We want to make it decompose rapidly. So we tried to use particle, we tried to change the particle size of the reactant, so that is not giving us any much difference. That's why this point is written here. The rate of reaction neither increases by reducing the particle size nor by increasing the reaction temperature. Even by heating this, by giving the temperature to this reaction, it is not changing anything in this reaction. So they did this, okay, they did this trial, and they saw whether how to make it like rapid reaction. So it is not affecting the, here the particle size also not affecting, and neither the temperature is affecting in this case. By reducing the particle size nor by increasing the reaction temperature, however, we are going to add now catalyst. So by adding catalyst, let's see how the reaction will take place. By adding the catalyst, which catalyst is it? The catalyst here is MnO2. When you add MnO2 in this, then KClO3 will decompose rapidly. However, KClO3, that is potassium chlorate, decomposes rapidly in presence of MnO2 to liberate oxygen gas. Okay, manganese dioxide, in presence of manganese dioxide, this is a catalyst. Here, this is a catalyst. We are going to use manganese dioxide as a catalyst to liberate oxygen gas. And when you do this, there is no chemical change taking place here in this reaction. It is only helping to decompose KClO3 rapidly. That is the function, that is the point, that is the action it is taking here. Okay, that is how it is useful for us in this reaction. No chemical change takes place in this reaction. Okay, so these are the 5 points, and for this catalyst point, I would like to add a statement. The substance in whose presence the rate of chemical reaction changes without causing any chemical change to it is called catalyst. Okay, the definition we have already discussed earlier. Okay, let me take one more example here. This was one example I had taken, potassium chloride. One more example let us take. This is the second example. The decomposition of hydrogen peroxide. Okay, the decomposition of hydrogen peroxide into water and oxygen. This is the next example, that is decomposition of hydrogen peroxide into water and oxygen. In this reaction is actually slow reaction, slowly at room temperature. At room temperature, this reaction is very slow. So what we are going to do for this reaction, now we are going to use catalyst manganese dioxide. So same reaction occurs faster on adding manganese dioxide powder in it. So this will help, the catalyst is going to help the reaction to take it faster. Same reaction occurs faster on adding MnO2 powder in it. What is MnO2 here? Manganese dioxide, which is acting as a catalyst in this reaction. Okay, so these are the 5 factors we discussed today. Based on these 5 factors, there will be changes in the reaction. Those 5 factors are nature of reactants, size of reactants, concentration of reactants, temperature of reaction, and catalyst. Okay, in our next lecture, we will discuss about oxidation reduction. So we will meet again in our next lecture, next video lecture. Till then, stay safe. Bye.